live stream online class.
Yeah, today we're going to take you through some activities, but the first thing that we need to do is warm up. So we're just going to start with just moving and buzz a little bit, and we're just going to roll our ankle out. One, a few circles, then a few circles with the other ankle. Try to stay balanced. Some people find it helpful to put their hand on the nose. Maybe don't. Maybe put your hand on the other hip. Perfect. And then try same thing, circles with your knees. And the other way. Nice. Circles with the other knee. And the other way. And now, put your hands on your hips, and we're just going to do big circles with your hips. As bigger circles that you can do. And we're going to go the other direction. Very good. Nice. And now moving on to our shoulders. We're just going to do big circles with the shoulders. Nice. Nice. And forwards. Nice, very good. And now we're just going to put our hands to the side. We're just going to flick our fingers away. And then up to the sky. And go to your tippy toes so you see if you can reach the ceiling. Oh, and then just go down to the ground. Nice. We're just going to shake our bodies out. We're just going to do a little game to get into just a little bit more warm, our heart's racing. We're going to be running on the spot. And then if I say jump, you're going to jump. And if I say touch the floor, you're going to touch the floor. And if I say roll, you're going to roll. So make sure you have a little bit of space just to roll on your side, or it could just be like a little roll on your butt, you know, just anything you like. So just running on the spot. And touch the floor. Running on the spot. And jump. Running on the spot. And roll around. Are you feeling a little bit warmer? Good, nice. And we're just going to do a little bit of stretch now. If you feel like you need to move around a bit more, then do a bit more of those. Elly's just going to teach us some stretches.
Alright, so let's come down onto the floor into a nice tabletop position, hands and knees. And we're going to think about trying to circle our backs all the way around in a disco cat. Let your head just follow. I'm going to change directions. See if you can circle the other way. Nice. And coming back into the middle in that nice straight back position. You're going to try and lift one leg off the floor. See if you can tuck it in to your tummy and then push it out behind you into a big kick. Tuck it in and kick it back. Nice, good. See if you can really point your toe, stretch your leg out super straight when you kick it behind you. Nice. And we're going to do the other leg. So try and keep your body nice and strong, tucking the other knee into your chest and kicking it back. Try and keep squeezing your tummy muscles so you keep that nice and strong even when you're kicking your leg out. Oh, alright, giving the wrist a little roll out after that. And we're going to do some more leg kicks on our backs. We're going to bring it down onto the floor. And I'm going to have one leg, both legs straight. One leg's going to kick up to the ceiling. See if you can point your toes so you get that nice straight line as you kick it up. And then swap legs. Lovely. That leg should be coming a little bit closer and you feel a little bit warmer. Nice. I'm going to try and kick sideways, so bringing it over onto one side. I'm going to try and kick my leg up towards the back of my shoulder. Nice. Couple more times there. And swap sides. Again, trying to kick that leg. Add a little spin in there if you want to make it a little more fancy. Kicking that leg up to the back of your shoulder, or as close as it can get to your shoulder. Nice. Okay, so I've got a little challenge for you next. We're going to try and come into a really strong plank position. So I'm going to place my hands on the floor under my shoulders, and I'm going to stretch my legs out and try and keep my tummy and everything nice and tight and squeezed in. So I have this lovely straight line. We're going to try not to stick our bums up in the air, and we're going to try not to arch and let our hips drop down either. Nice flat line. Then the challenge is, can you touch your shoulders? So I'll show you from the front. Yeah, that's it. So see if you can touch your hand onto your shoulder without letting your body move as much as you can. It's really tricky. It always wants to go sideways a little bit. Nice, if you can do 5 more touches. Awesome. And have a little relax, let's roll the shoulders back, recover from that, that's quite hard. And we're going to do one more little leg kick exercise. So we're going to come up into our circus tent position. So I'm going to push up into this nice shape here. So I'm going to have long arms, straight legs, and pushing your heels down to the floor. And we're just going to walk through the legs and ground, bend one leg, push the heel down, and swap. And keep swapping. Nice. And then try and put both heels down to the floor. Good, well done. Then you're going to take one leg, and we're going to try and kick the ceiling, and bring it back down. Now, it's going to be 3 more. 2. And 1, and then swap legs. And again, I'm going to kick the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And bring it back in. We're just going to do our necks a little bit more. So we're going to take ear to shoulder and roll it around the front in a little semicircle. And back again. Lovely. And do that a couple more times. And then we're going to look up to the ceiling and open our chest all the way up to the sky. And then we look down to the floor and pretend we're hugging a lovely beach ball in front of us. And then again, opening the chest, looking up. And hugging the beach ball, looking down. And then bringing it back in and just giving another little circle. And shake it off. Awesome. So that is hopefully looking a little bit warmer, a little bit stretched out. And we're going to do 3 activities. So before we start our first one, grab a drink of water, take your jumper off if you're already nice and warm, and come back and see us in a second.
So now we're going to do a little bit of juggling. So you can grab, if you have a juggling ball or any other kind of ball, you just need the one. And if you're out of all kinds of balls in your house that are about this size, and clementine, an orange, a lemon, could be okay if you get permission from your parents to use fruit for juggling. And we're just going to start by just doing really, just throwing it from one hand to the other. Just the one juggling ball. What you want to make sure is that your throws are going like to the middle and then coming down, so they're doing like a bit of a rectangle shape. And that you're standing nice and straight and you're just turning it around. Nice. And now we're going to try just really short, small throws. Yeah. Cool. And now what we're going to do is just a little bit of body throws. To see if you can throw it under your leg and catch it on the other hand. Good. Let's try that one again. Again, just for luck. And then the other leg. And again. See if you can throw it under your arm and catch it on that same arm. So just moving it a little bit and alternating arm to arm. And we're going to see if you can combine those two throws. So you throw it under your leg and then under your arm. Yeah, good. And then the other leg. And the other arm.
Oh, I did the same leg.
Same leg. Okay, so we're doing under the right leg, under the right arm, and now under the left leg. No, there we go. I'm getting really confused under the left arm. Cool. It can be a little bit confusing, that's okay. Also, just have fun with it. See if you can do both legs, then both arms. Nice.
You can do inside to outside or outside to inside with the leg.
Yeah.
Mix it up. Cool.
And that all seems quite, seems quite nice and easy. We're going to try a little bit more of a challenging one now. So if you're all good with that, we're going to try behind the back. Okay? So for that one, you just want to do a little bit of a swing with your arm behind your back. Like this. And then let go of the ball. There. And catch it with the other. Nice. And then the other side, the same thing. Yeah, so that's one of the things that can happen really easily, is that you just throw it kind of like very much in front of you. So you try to imagine that you're throwing up to the ceiling behind you. Nice. Nice, and then we're going to try to put it together with our other throws. So we're going to do it behind the back. Nice. Under the leg. Under the arm. Then the other side, behind the back, under the leg, under the arm. Cool. Now, guys, what we're going to try to do is to learn how to do some things with two balls. So, we're just going to grab another juggling ball, or another piece of fruit, or another object,
Ball-like object.
any kind of object. And what we're going to try to do, maybe you want to be sitting for this one because you're going to drop, maybe you want to be standing or in front of a bed. That will be quite good because you don't have to be going down and up to pick up your juggling objects. It's just going to try the first kind of throws that we did before, but with two balls. So it's going to look something like this. Nice. So what you're going to try to do is throw one juggling ball, and when this one is on its way down, then you want to throw the other one. So then one goes up, and then the other one goes up. And you're going to try just throwing from your left hand, and then your right. Nice. It's a bit easier to notice what's going on when you have two different balls. Different color objects, just like that. And then when you're comfortable with that, you're going to try to just always throw the yellow or any blue or any kind of color ball first. So just the yellow one first, going up. And then you'll notice that you have to throw with your other hand now. Up and then down, up, down. Just remember to be standing up straight, and the juggling balls want to reach about, I say high, and then down. Down. Nice. And then for the last thing that we're going to do, is just going to try to do one of those throws. Then maybe grab one of the balls, put it down, then do one of the body throws that you want to do. Any kind of throw that you want to do. Yes. That's a little bit of juggling. Feel free to add any kind of thing, or just try any kind of other throws that you want to do. And we're just going to put this down for now and move on to something different.
Yeah. Awesome. So the next activity we're going to try is on the floor. We're going to try and make some shapes, and this is a little bit acrobatic because we're working on the floor, but we're really trying to think about the kind of shapes we make when we're doing aerial. So when we come back into the space and we're hanging off all the exciting things in the air again, our bodies can start to remember what's happening.
What's going on?
We'll try some nice easy shapes on the floor first. The first one I'm going to do is a tuck shape. So I'm going to squeeze my legs in towards my tummy. You can hold on to them if you want, squeeze them even tighter. See if you can shift your weight back slightly. So you can just lift your toes off the floor and see if you can point those toes so you get a lovely shape. Try and straighten your back so you can sit up really tall while you're doing this. See if you can find your balance there. Nice. So that's our tuck shape. The next one we're going to try is our pike shape. So we can do this one sitting on the floor. I'm going to stretch my legs out straight in front of me. I'm going to try and sit up really tall as if somebody's pulling a bit of string out the top of my head. And again, we're going to try and really straighten those legs, so squeeze our quad muscles to make them super straight and point our toes off at the end. You can practice folding in your pike, so you're reaching forward towards your ankles or further, depending on how flexible you're feeling today. We can try flexing our feet as well, so pulling your toes back towards you. You might find that your heels lift off the floor slightly and pull them back nice and strong. So we've got tuck and pike. Nice. Number 3 we're going to do is straddle. So for this one we're going to open our legs out as wide as you can, that's comfortable. Again, sitting up super tall, straightening the legs and pointing the toes. We're going to think about trying to have our knees pointing straight up to the ceiling. So we're not rolling backwards or forwards, we've got them pointing up to the sky. And again, lifting that little string out the top of your head. If you want in this position, you can try walking your hands forward, see how far you can go. You can try walking your hands down to one side. You can try walking your hands down to the other side. And you can try going opposite hand to opposite leg. So I'm going to reach over the top. And the other way. Opposite hand over to opposite leg. So this is our straddle shape. Again, we can think about pointing our toes or flexing our feet, pulling our toes back towards us, lifting those ankles. We can point one, flex one. Point the other one, flex the other one. Swap. Cool. So this is our straddle shape. We've got 3 shapes now. We've got our tuck shape, pike shape, and our straddle shape. Wow. We're going to do one more. Challenging you there. So we're going to do one more shape, which I call an attitude shape. So what's going to happen is I'm going to twist my knee. So I'm trying to make like a right angle with each leg. Okay, so I've got this leg bent and this leg bent, and sitting in that nice right angle position. So this is your attitude shape.
It's from like straddle shape, and then you put one knee in and the other one goes out.
Yeah. So we can try swapping sides. If you put your hands on the floor behind you, you can switch over to attitude on the other side. And back. Nice. Nice. And then when you're there, see if you can sit up and lift your hands off the floor. And then we're going to try and swap sides without our hands. So try and keep your hands in the air, swap sides. And sit. And one more time. I always find I slowly walk forward when I do it with no hands. Like a little weird, like monster walk. So you can do that if you like. Let's make these shapes a little bit harder. So we're going to try them lifting our hips up into a shoulder stand. So it's a little bit more like what you might do in the air, having to lift your hips up off the floor above you. So this is our pencil, beautifully demonstrated by Val. She's pushing her legs straight up to the ceiling. She's got a lovely straight line, pushing her hips forward and try and make that lovely pencil line. So you can do a little bit of a roll to get into this shape. you can push off the floor with your hands. See how high you can shoot your legs up to the ceiling. And then, if you can get there and hold it for a second, you can pop your hands under your hips and try and hold that shape for as long as you can. Then what options did we have? We have a tuck shape.
Nice. Pipe shape.
Buck shape.
Straddle shape.
Straddle.
And attitude.
Attitude is a little bit tricky. I'll show you sideways in a second.
Yeah.
So for our attitude shape, I'm going to just hold on to one hip, and I'm going to try and take that leg out to the side and then that leg as well. So I'm still holding the other hip, but I'm kind of really supporting that side that I'm leaning towards. And you could try and go the other way. One more time. So, one more time all the way through. We're going to go up, pencil, tuck, hike, straddle, attitude. Awesome, well done guys. So I think it's time for our last activity.
Yeah, which is going to be Softboy.
Softboy, exactly. So if you've got some poi at home, you can use that. Doesn't matter if you don't have any poi at home, I assume there are some socks somewhere in your house. So all you need is 2 socks. They don't have to be super long socks. Actually, kind of ankle socks are probably about height. These ones are a bit long, I always hit the floor if I have them fully extended. And then just chuck your juggling ball in the middle or use another pair of socks, anything that's going to add a little bit more weight onto one end. We're going to start with 1, because 2 is too confusing. So I'm going to hold on to the end of my sock that doesn't have the weight in it, and we're just going to try and spin it forwards like this. Nice. So you've got that nice even circle going all the way around. Think about having a little bit of a bounce, that helps with the momentum, and keep that nice circle going around. You're going to change direction. So in order to change direction, you have to kind of let it slow down to that side and bring it back. And again, slow down to that side and bring it back. Nice. Cool. So hand number 2. The other hand is always harder, it's okay. You just have to practice it more. So I'm going to spin the poi forward again here. And change direction. And change direction. Let's do 1 more each way. And back. There's usually one hand and one direction that feels loads better than the other. That's totally normal. So we can try that with 2 poi, only if you're feeling really good about a 1 poi version. I'm going to have 1 sock in each hand, and I'm going to try and spin them straight forwards towards the camera. So I'm thinking about the line that they're moving in, being this lovely straight line either side of me, in front of me. And I can go backwards, or I can go forwards.
Really avoid kind of like putting them together at the front, or what happens to me quite a lot is that I end up, for one reason or another, just hitting myself in the back when they're not going straight. So that's something that can happen, and it's okay. Just really think about that parallel line of both of them just going forward, very straight, like Elly's demonstrating beautifully.
Extra challenge. We're going to try and do 1 forwards and 1 backwards. So this means you essentially have to split your brain in half and do different things with each hand, which is really hard. So I like to start with a little sway. So I'm going to think about bringing 1 forwards and 1 backwards. So I've got some kind of sway going on. And then at some point, just go for it and try and spin them. And see if they're spinning in opposite directions. And then you can bring it back to your sway. And this is tricky, so if both hands aren't working in the same direction, you want to practice that more before you try this. And then again, see if you can get them the opposite ways. Nice.
Nice.
I'm lost now, I'm confused. There's always one way that feels better.
Yeah, you really have to focus. Yeah, it's very important. Really concentrate.
Confusing. Right, we'll do one more try. The side angle. Alright, so let's try one more little trick here. We're going to try a weave movement over our head. So there's two parts to this. There's a circle above my head. You can do your best helicopter impression and try and sweep the boy across your body, lift it up above your head and see if you can keep that circular movement going straight up above you. The second half of this trick is a circle in front of your body. So this is like you're stirring a massive pot of soup in front of you and having to kind of lean forward slightly over the soup. So I've got enough space to stir around and trying to make that circle happen there. So you can swap between these, spinning it above your head and spinning it in front. And if you switch every time, you get a lovely figure of 8 movement that goes under your arm, over your head, under your arm, over your head. Nice. And if that's going well, you can always swap it onto the other hand. Cool. That's it. So keep practicing those, and if you get really good at those, you can do it with tutors as well. So make sure,
I'm not going to even attempt that, but
just to throw it out there, you know, if it's going really well, you can do it with 2 as well. Give you that as like bonus homework. Well,
no.
Lovely. Alright guys, that is all we've got time for. So thanks for joining us and looking forward to seeing you back in classes next week.